It's made fighters speak out, made promoters think bigger, and made fans care again. That's something worth respecting. So what would happen if Jake Paul ever stepped into the ring with Gervonta Davis? The truth is simple, it would be a fight between two worlds, entertainment versus experience, hype versus heritage. And as Joe Rogan said best, it's not that Jake isn't improving. It's that Tank is already where Jake's trying to be. Until then, the debate continues, and the boxing world keeps watching. Because love him or hate him, Jake Paul has already changed the game. But Gervonta Davis, he is the game. If Jake Paul were to step into the ring against someone like Davis, his defense would need to be flawless. His timing perfect. His footwork disciplined. Otherwise, one mistake could end the night. And beyond the fight itself, there's another concern. Many experts believe that pushing these crossovers too far could hurt the sport's credibility. Because when entertainment overshadows skill, boxing risks becoming spectacle over substance. That's what Rogan and Cormier meant when they said it's dangerous for boxing. At the same time, you can't deny what Jake Paul has done for boxing. He's brought millions of new fans. He's built an audience that might never have watched the sport otherwise. And in a time when boxing struggles for mainstream attention, Jake has made it relevant again. Maybe he's not ready for Tank Davis, maybe he never will be, but his presence has forced the boxing world to evolve. They warned that if Jake Paul steps in the ring with someone like Gervonta, it wouldn't just be a mismatch, it could be a dangerous situation. Because while Jake Paul's boxing skills are impressive for a crossover athlete, Tank's explosiveness, speed, and ring IQ are built from a lifetime inside the ropes. Even small mistakes, a lazy jab, a missed guard, could cost Jake everything. This isn't show business. This is real boxing. Let's break down the reality. Jake Paul fights at 185 pounds. Gervonta Davis usually competes around 135 pounds. That's a 50-pound difference, but it's deceptive, because in boxing, weight doesn't always mean danger. Power, speed, and skill do. And Tank Davis has all three. Experts point out that Davis's power-to-weight ratio is among the most efficient in modern boxing. He lands clean, compact punches that generate knockout force without needing heavy weight behind them. When he fought Garcia in 2023, millions tuned in, and what they saw was a reminder of what elite boxing looks like. Tank's footwork, his head movement, his timing, all pure textbook perfection. This isn't just a fighter. This is a generational talent. So when Jake Paul mentioned Gervonta's name, it wasn't just a call-out, it was a wake-up call to everyone who understands the sport. During a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, Joe and Daniel Cormier discussed Jake Paul's growing confidence, and the possibility of him facing elite fighters like Gervonta Davis. Joe didn't hold back. He said, "Jake's improving, no doubt. But Tank Davis is on another planet. That dude could literally end it in one exchange." Daniel Cormier agreed, adding that boxing and MMA are very different, but real boxers like Davis live and breathe the craft. Yet, despite the loss, Jake came back even stronger. He improved his fundamentals, sharpened his jab, and defeated Nate Diaz, showing real boxing IQ and patience inside the ring. But then, as always, Jake did what Jake does best, he started calling out names. Big names. And one of them was Gervonta Davis. To understand why experts like Joe Rogan are concerned, you have to understand who Gervonta Davis truly is. Born in Baltimore, Tank Davis was raised in an environment where fighting wasn't a choice, it was survival. Under the mentorship of Floyd Mayweather, Davis transformed raw aggression into pure boxing mastery. At just 5 feet 5 inches, Davis isn't the tallest fighter, but he's one of the most lethal. With a record of over 29 wins and 27 knockouts, he's proved that power doesn't come from size, it comes from precision, timing, and explosiveness. He's fought world-class boxers like Leo Santa Cruz, Mario Barrios, and Ryan Garcia, knocking them out in devastating fashion. So why exactly are experts calling this matchup dangerous for boxing? And what would really happen if Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis ever stepped inside the same ring? Let's break it down. It started as a sideshow. A YouTuber calling out athletes, stepping into the ring for clout and clicks. But over time, Jake Paul's commitment to boxing became undeniable. He trained under professional coaches, built a team around him, and slowly began earning respect, at least for his dedication. He knocked out Enes Gibb, Nate Robinson, and then went on to face seasoned fighters like Tyron Woodley and Anderson Silva, both former UFC champions. By 2023, Jake Paul was no longer a joke. He was selling out arenas, headlining pay-per-views, and bringing millions of new eyes to the sport. When Jake finally faced Tommy Fury, the younger brother of heavyweight champion Tyson Fury, he lost a split decision, and reality hit hard. Boxing has always been a sport of skill, discipline, and legacy. But in the modern era, it's also become a platform where fame, money, and social media collide with real fighters and their reputations. And standing right at the center of this collision is one of the most controversial figures in combat sports today, Jake Paul. From YouTube fame to fighting former MMA champions, Jake Paul has built an empire by turning himself into one of boxing's biggest attractions. But when he mentioned the name Gervonta "Tank" Davis, the boxing world collectively held its breath. Even Joe Rogan and Daniel Cormier, two of the most respected voices in combat sports, warned this might be taking things too far. Because Gervonta Davis isn't just another name. He's one of the most explosive knockout artists of this generation, a three-division world champion with lightning reflexes and raw, terrifying power.